Vera Sullivan didn't plan to text a venture capitalist. She only wanted someone to pick up her daughter from daycare. It was 2:47 p.m. on a Wednesday, and she was trapped in a broken elevator at the Grayson building with 3 other people, no cell service, and the worst timing of her life. Her phone had exactly 8% battery. The emergency call button had been pressed 15 minutes ago. No one had come, and Maisie's daycare closed at 6 p.m. sharp. After that, they charged $1 per minute. Vera had $23 in her checking account until Friday. She'd already missed 2 pickups this month, both times because of overtime at her second job. The director had been clear: one more late pickup, and Maisie would lose her spot. Vera pulled up her contacts, found her neighbor Helen's number, and typed frantically, "Helen, I'm so sorry to ask, but I'm stuck in an elevator downtown. Can you please pick up Maisie from Little Steps? I'll be there as soon as I get out. Please, I can't lose her spot." She hit send before the elevator lurched slightly, making everyone gasp. The phone buzzed 30 seconds later. "I think you have the wrong number." Vera's heart sank. She checked the message thread. Not Helen's number, not even close. She'd grabbed the wrong contact, someone named H. Mitchell, that she didn't even remember adding. "I'm so sorry, wrong number, please ignore." She locked the screen, pressed her forehead against the elevator wall, and tried not to cry. The phone buzzed again. "Is your daughter okay?" Vera stared at the message. "She's at daycare. I'm stuck in an elevator. I'll figure it out." "What daycare?" "Why does that matter?" "Because if you're stuck, someone needs to pick her up." "What's the address?" Vera hesitated. Every instinct screamed this was insane, but Maisie's daycare closed in 3 hours and 13 minutes, and the elevator hadn't moved in 20. Little Steps Learning Center, 412 Westbrook. She's 4. Her name is Maisie Sullivan, but I don't even know who you are. My name is Harrison Mitchell. Send me a photo of your daughter so I know who I'm picking up. Vera's hands shook as she pulled up her photos and sent the most recent one, Maisie grinning with paint on her face from art class. "You're seriously going to pick up my daughter? A complete stranger's child? Would you rather pay the late fees?" He had a point. They won't release her to someone not on the pickup list. "Then call them and add me. I'll be there in 40 minutes. Vera called the daycare with shaking hands, explained the situation to a very skeptical director, added Harrison Mitchell to the emergency pickup list, and sent him a photo of her ID for verification. Then she waited. The elevator finally moved at 4:33 p.m. By the time she got outside and checked her phone, there was a message from an unknown number. "This is Harrison. I have Maisie. She's safe. She insisted we stop for French fries. Where should I bring her?" Attached was a photo, a little girl with dark curls sitting in a leather back seat, grinning with a handful of fries. Vera burst into tears right there on the sidewalk. "Thank you, God, thank you. I live at 247 Oak Street, Apt 3B. I'm getting in my car now." "Take your time. She's telling me about her imaginary horse. I'll keep her entertained." Vera drove home in a daze. When she pulled up to her building, a sleek black Audi was parked outside. A man stepped out. Early 30s, expensive suit, sharp features, dark hair. Maisie jumped out of the back seat and ran to her. "Mama, Mr. Harrison bought me fries and a chocolate milk." Vera scooped her up. Holding her so tight, Maisie squirmed. "Okay, Mama, too tight." Vera set her down and turned to the stranger who'd just saved her entire week. "I don't know how to thank you." Harrison smiled slightly. "You don't have to." "Yes, I do. You didn't know me. You didn't owe me anything. You showed up. You showed. Someone needed help. I was available. It's not complicated." Vera studied him. The suit probably cost more than her rent. The watch on his wrist was definitely worth more than her car. "Why did you really do this?" Harrison was quiet for a moment. "Because 12 years ago, I was a kid stuck at school with no one coming to get me. A teacher stayed 3 hours past her shift to wait with me. I never forgot that." Vera felt her throat tighten. "Can I at least pay you back for the food?" "Absolutely not." "Then can I buy you coffee, tomorrow, to say thank you properly?" Harrison hesitated. "You don't have to do that." "I know, but I want to." He pulled out his phone. "Give me your number, the right one this time." She laughed and typed it in. "Tomorrow," he said. There's a place called Brewhaven on 5th. 10 a.m.? I work at 11. Then 9 a.m. Deal. The next morning, Vera showed up at Brewhaven in her work uniform, black pants and a white button-down for her restaurant job. Harrison was already there, in jeans and a navy sweater. He looked different, less intimidating. You came, he said. You saved my daughter from French fry withdrawal. Of course I came, he smiled. A real one this time. They ordered coffee, sat at a corner table. Tell me about yourself, Harrison said. Besides getting stuck in elevators and having adorable daughters. Not much to tell. Single mom, worked 2 jobs, trying to keep my head above water. What jobs? Server at Marino's during the day, night shift data entry for a medical billing company. Maisie's dad isn't in the picture. Hasn't been since she was 6 months old. That's not much to tell. That's everything, Vera looked up. What about you? I'm a venture capitalist. I fund startups, mostly tech companies. So you're rich. I'm comfortable. That's what rich people say. He laughed. Fair. Why did you really pick up my daughter yesterday? Harrison set down his coffee. Honest answer. Please. Because your message was real. No filter, no performance. Just a mother terrified of letting her daughter down. That's rare. Being desperate is rare? Being honest about it is. They talked until Vera's alarm went off. She had 15 minutes to get to work. I should go, she said reluctantly. Can I see you again? Why would you want to? Because you're interesting and real, and I haven't had a conversation this good in months. Vera studied him. I'm not your charity case. I know, that's not what this is. Then what is it? 2 people getting coffee, that's all. Unless you want it to be something else. I don't have time for something else. I barely have time for coffee. Then we'll keep it simple. Coffee, once a week. No pressure. Vera hesitated, then nodded. Okay, but I pay next time. Deal. That night, after Maisie was asleep, Vera sat at her tiny kitchen table with her laptop open, staring at her online accounting assignment. She was exhausted. The kind of tired that settled into your bones and made everything feel impossible. Her phone buzzed. Did you make it to work on time? She smiled despite herself. Barely. Thank you again for yesterday. Stop thanking me. I can't. It was a big deal. To you, maybe. To me, it was just the right thing to do. Vera typed, deleted, typed again. Why are you still texting me? Because I want to. Is that okay? She stared at the message for a long time. Yeah, it's okay. Good. Now go to bed. You look exhausted. You can't see me. I can hear it in your texts. She laughed. Good night, Harrison. Good night, Vera. They fell into a rhythm over the next few weeks. Coffee every Thursday morning at Brewhaven. Texts throughout the week, never intrusive, just present. Harrison would send her articles about accounting trends. Vera would send him photos of Maisie's latest art projects. You don't have to keep doing this, Vera said during their 4th coffee meetup. Doing what? Checking in, texting, showing up? You've done enough. Harrison set down his cup. What if I'm not doing it because I feel obligated? What if I'm doing it because I want to? Why would you want to? Because you're the first person I've talked to in years who doesn't want something from me. Everyone wants something. What do you want? Vera thought about it. I want Maisie to have a good life. I want to finish my degree. I want to not be so tired all the time. You didn't mention me. Because you're not a transaction. You're just you. Harrison's expression softened. Exactly. Week 6, Vera's car broke down. She texted Harrison in a panic at 7:30 a.m. I know it's early, but do you know any good mechanics? My car won't start, and I need to get Maisie to daycare. Where are you? My apartment, 247 Oak. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Harrison, you don't have to. I'm all ready. I'm in the car. He showed up 12 minutes later in the black Audi. Vera was standing on the sidewalk with Maisie, backpack in hand. Get in, he said. I can't ask you to. You're not asking. I'm offering. Get in. They dropped Maisie at daycare first. Maisie gave Harrison a high five before running inside. She likes you, Vera said. I like her too. She's got personality. That's a nice way of saying she's bossy. She knows what she wants. That's a good quality. Harrison drove Vera to work, then called his mechanic while she was inside. By the end of her shift, her car was fixed and parked outside the restaurant. The keys were with the hostess, along with a note. Alternator, fixed. Receipt enclosed. Don't even think about paying me back. H. The receipt was marked paid in full. Vera called him immediately. I can't accept this. Too late, it's done. Harrison, Vera, let me do something nice, please. Why? Because I can. Because you need help. Because I want to. She was quiet. I'm paying you back, she said finally. No, you're not. Yes, I am. We'll argue about it over coffee tomorrow. It's not Thursday. Then we'll make an exception. She smiled despite herself. Fine, tomorrow, but I'm paying. Deal. Week 7, Harrison invited her to dinner. Like a date? Vera asked. If you want it to be. I have Maisie. Bring her. That's not a date. Then we'll call it dinner, with friends. Who might want it to be more than that eventually? Vera laughed. You're very smooth. I'm really not. I'm just honest. They went to a family-friendly Italian place. Maisie was on her best behavior, which meant she only knocked over 1 water glass. Tell me about your business, Vera said, while Maisie colored on the kids' menu. I fund startups, usually tech, sometimes biotech. I look for companies with good ideas and bad execution. Help them fix the execution. And you make money doing that? A lot of money when it works, and when it doesn't. I lose a lot of money, but I'm careful. I do my research. Most of my bets pay off. Is that what I am? A bet. Harrison looked at her. No, you're something entirely different. What am I? I'm still figuring that out. Week 9, Vera's landlord raised her rent. She came to coffee looking defeated. What's wrong? Harrison asked immediately. Rent just went up $200 a month. I can't afford it. I'm already stretched too thin. Move. To where? Everywhere in this city is expensive. Move in with me. Vera stared at him. What? I have a 3-bedroom condo. 1 bedroom is my office. The other is empty. You and Maisie could take it. No rent, just utilities. Harrison, I can't. Why not? Because that's insane. We've known each other 2 months. So you don't move in with someone after 2 months. Why not? You need a place. I have space. It makes sense. It's too much. It's practical. Vera shook her head. I can't accept that. Then pay me rent. Whatever you're paying now, it'll still be cheaper than moving somewhere else. You don't need my rent money. No, but you need stability. And Maisie needs consistency. Think about her. That was a low blow, and he knew it. That's not fair, Vera said. I know, but it's true. She stared at her coffee. Let me think about it. Take all the time you need. She took 3 days. Then she said yes. Moving day was chaos. Vera didn't have much. A bed, a couch, Maisie's furniture, boxes of clothes and books. Harrison hired movers, had everything set up in 4 hours. This is too much, Vera said, standing in the middle of her new bedroom. It was twice the size of her old apartment. Huge windows, walk-in closet, attached bathroom. It's just space, Harrison said. Use it. Maisie ran through the condo screaming with joy. Mama, there's a bathtub, a big bathtub. Inside voice, baby. There's no one to bother, Maisie yelled before running off again. Harrison smiled. She's got a point. I still can't believe I'm doing this. Having regrets. No, just processing. Take your time. Living with Harrison was strange at first. He was gone a lot. Meetings, site visits, business dinners. But when he was home, he was present. He'd ask Maisie about her day, help her with puzzles, read her bedtime stories when Vera was working late on her data entry job. You're good with her, Vera said one night after Maisie had fallen asleep. She's easy to be good with. Not everyone thinks so. Her dad couldn't handle it. Her dad's an idiot, Vera smiled. Yeah, he is. Harrison looked at her. Can I ask you something? Sure. Why do you still work 2 jobs? You're paying me rent. You could quit one. I need the savings. For emergencies, for Maisie's future. I can't just coast. You're not coasting. You're surviving. There's a difference. I've been surviving my whole life. I don't know how to do anything else. Maybe it's time to learn. Week 12, Vera finished her accounting degree. Harrison threw her a small party, just the three of them. Cake, champagne, sparkling cider for Maisie, and a card. Inside the card was a job offer. "What is this?" Vera asked. "A position at my firm. Junior financial analyst. It's entry level, but it's real. And it pays better than both your current jobs combined." Vera stared at the paper. "You're offering me a job." "I'm offering you an opportunity." "Harrison, I can't work for you. It's too complicated." "Why?" "Because we live together. Because I'm starting to—" She stopped. "Starting to what?" "Care about you more than I should." Harrison set down his champagne. "And you think working together would make that worse?" "I think it blurs every line we have left." "What if I want the lines blurred?" Vera looked at him. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I'm falling for you. Have been since coffee week 2. And I don't care if it's complicated. I don't care if people think it's too fast or too messy. I care about you. And Maisie. And I want you in my life. In every part of it. Harrison, take the job. Don't take the job. I don't care. But don't walk away because you're scared." "I'm terrified." "Me too. But I'd rather be terrified with you than safe without you." Vera kissed him. It was soft at first, tentative. Then his hand cupped her face and she melted into him, and it became something more. When they pulled apart, both breathing hard, Maisie's voice came from the hallway. "Are you guys boyfriend and girlfriend now?" They both laughed. "Yeah, baby," Vera said. "We are." "Good, can we have cake now?" Vera took the job. Started the following Monday. It was strange at first, seeing Harrison in CEO mode, watching him command a room, make decisions that affected millions of dollars, but he never brought that energy home. At home, he was just Harrison, the guy who made pancakes on Sunday mornings and let Maisie paint his nails. 3 months in, Vera had proven herself. Her analyses were sharp, her insights valuable. She wasn't there because of Harrison. She was there because she was good. "I'm proud of you," Harrison said one night after Maisie was asleep. "For what?" "For believing in yourself, for taking the chance." "You gave me the chance." "No, you earned it. I just opened the door." She kissed him. "Thank you." "For what?" "For seeing me, really seeing me." "That's easy. You're impossible to miss." 6 months into the relationship, Harrison took Vera to meet his mentor. "Why am I nervous?" Vera asked in the car. "Because you care what people think. It's normal." "What if he doesn't like me?" "He will. But even if he doesn't, it doesn't matter. I like you. That's what counts." The mentor, Gerald, was a semi-retired venture capitalist who'd given Harrison his first break years ago. "So you're the one," Gerald said when they arrived. "The one what?" Vera asked. "The one who finally got through to him. Harrison's been a workaholic hermit for years. You must be something special." "I'm just me." "That's what makes you special." Dinner was easy. Gerald asked about her background, her degree, her job. Didn't ask about Harrison once. "You're good for him," Gerald said at the end of the night. "He's lighter, happier. Don't let him mess this up." "I'll try." "No, make him try. He's the one who has to work for it." In the car, Harrison was quiet. "What are you thinking?" Vera asked. "That Gerald's right. I don't deserve you." "Stop it." "I'm serious. You could do better." "Harrison, look at me." He did. "I don't want better. I want you, exactly as you are." He kissed her at a red light, long and slow and full of promise. Month 8, Maisie asked the question Vera had been dreading. "Is Harrison going to be my daddy?" They were at the park. Harrison was pushing Maisie on the swings. "Do you want him to be?" Vera asked carefully. Maisie thought about it seriously. "My real daddy left. Will Harrison leave?" "No, baby, he won't." "How do you know?" "Because he's not like your real daddy. He's better." "Okay, then yes. He can be my daddy." That night, Vera told Harrison about the conversation. She asked if you're going to be her dad. Harrison set down his book. "What did you say?" "I said you're not going anywhere." "You're right, I'm not." She said you can be her dad, if you want. Harrison's eyes filled with tears. "I want that. More than anything." "Are you sure? That's a big commitment." "Vera, I'm already committed. To both of you. This just makes it official." She climbed into his lap and held him while he cried quietly into her shoulder. Month 10, Harrison sat Vera down for a serious conversation. I want to ask you something, but I need you to hear me out before you say no. Okay? I want to adopt Maisie, legally, make her my daughter, not just in practice, but on paper. Vera's breath caught. Harrison. Her biological father signed away his rights. There's no legal barrier, and I want her to know, really know, that I'm not going anywhere, that she's mine, permanently. You'd do that? I already think of her as my daughter. This just makes it real. Vera was crying. Yes. God, yes. You're sure? I've never been more sure of anything. The adoption process took 4 months. There were home visits, interviews, background checks. Harrison sailed through all of it. The day the adoption was finalized, they had a small celebration at home. Maisie Sullivan Mitchell, Harrison said, looking at the paperwork. It's official. Maisie grinned. I have 2 last names now. You do, because you have 2 families. Your mama's family, and now mine. Are we a family? Maisie asked. The best one, Vera said. Month 13, Harrison proposed. They were at Brew Haven, their table, Thursday morning. I have something for you, he said. If it's another job offer, I'm happy where I am. He laughed. It's not a job offer. He pulled out a small box. Vera's hands flew to her mouth. Vera Sullivan, 13 months ago you texted me by accident. And I answered. Best decision I ever made. You've made me a better person, a happier person, a person who actually looks forward to coming home. Marry me, make this permanent. Let me be yours, forever. Yes, she whispered. God, yes. He slipped the ring on her finger. It was perfect, simple, exactly her style. How did you know my ring size? I asked Maisie. She measured your finger while you were sleeping. Vera laughed through her tears. You enlisted our 5-year-old. She was very excited. Made me promise she could be the flower girl. Of course she is. He kissed her. Long and deep and full of promise. The barista started clapping. Then the whole cafe joined in. The wedding was 6 months later, small, intimate, just family and close friends. Maisie took her flower girl duties very seriously. She scattered petals with the precision of a surgeon. When Vera walked down the aisle, Harrison's face broke into the biggest smile she'd ever seen. The vows were simple. Vera went first. 13 months ago, I texted the wrong number because I was desperate and alone. And you answered. You didn't just pick up my daughter. You picked up my life. You gave me hope when I had none. You gave Maisie a father when she thought she'd never have one. You gave us a family when we thought it was just going to be the 2 of us forever. My vow is this. I'll spend the rest of my life making sure you never regret answering that text. I'll show up. Every day, every moment. For you, for us. For this family we built from a wrong number and a leap of faith. Harrison's voice was steady, but his eyes were wet. I spent most of my life alone, building walls, keeping people out, believing that success was enough. And then you sent me a message meant for someone else, and I could have ignored it, could have deleted it, could have moved on. But something told me to answer, and that answer changed my life. You gave me a family, you gave me purpose beyond work, you gave me love I didn't know I was missing. My vow is this. I'll spend the rest of my life being the man Maisie and you deserve. I'll show up, every time, every moment. I'll be the father she needs and the husband you deserve. I'll answer, always. They kissed to thunderous applause. Maisie cheered so loud she startled herself. 1 year later, Vera walked into the kitchen to find Harrison making pancakes, while Maisie sat at the counter telling him about a dream she'd had. And then the dragon said I could keep him. Can we get a dragon, Daddy? Dragons are tricky pets. How about we start with a goldfish? But dragons are cooler. True, but goldfish are easier to feed. Vera poured herself coffee and kissed Harrison's cheek. Good morning. Morning. How'd you sleep? Better than I have in years. Good. Maisie looked at her mother. Mama, when's the baby coming? Vera's hand went to her stomach automatically. 3 more months, baby. I can't wait. I'm going to teach them everything. Harrison caught Vera's eye and smiled. They'd found out about the pregnancy 2 months ago. Surprise, but a good one. You ready for this? Vera asked him later, after Maisie had gone to play. Another kid? With you? Absolutely. It's going to be chaos. Good. I like chaos, especially yours. She kissed him. I love you. I love you too. Both of you. All three of you, technically, she laughed. All three of us. 18 months later. Vera sat in the nursery, rocking their son Leo to sleep, while Harrison and Maisie read stories in the living room. Her phone buzzed on the side table. A message from her. Old number, the one she'd had before moving in with Harrison. It was from Helen, her old neighbor. Hey Vera, just found your new number through the building manager. Hope you're doing well. Remember that time you texted me by accident asking me to pick up Maisie and I never got the message? I felt so bad. Hope everything worked out okay? Vera stared at the message, then laughed. Harrison appeared in the doorway. What's funny? I just realized something. I never texted the wrong number that day in the elevator. What do you mean? I meant to text Helen, but my phone autocorrected to H. Mitchell instead of Helen Morrison. I didn't make a typo. My phone sent it to you on purpose. Harrison walked over and looked at the message, then at her. So what you're saying is, it wasn't a mistake? Maybe it was exactly what was supposed to happen. He kissed her forehead. Best glitch in the system ever. Agreed. Leo stirred in her arms but didn't wake. Come on, Harrison, said. Let's get him down. Maisie wants to show you her new drawing. It's a family portrait, with a dragon. Of course it is. They walked back to the living room together, to their family, to the life they'd built from a message that was never meant for him, but found him anyway. 3 years later, epilogue. Brewhaven had become something of a landmark for them. Every Thursday morning, no exceptions. Now, with 2 kids, it was more complicated. But they made it work. Maisie was 8 now, smart, funny, and absolutely convinced she was going to be a veterinarian who specialized in dragons. Leo was 2, obsessed with trucks and saying no to everything. Do you ever think about that day? Vera asked, watching Harrison wrangle Leo away from the pastry case. What day? The day I texted you. Every day. Really? Really, it's the day my life started. Your life didn't start at 31. The part that mattered did. Vera reached across the table and took his hand. Thank you. For what? For answering. Thank you for sending the message. Maisie ran over with a cookie bigger than her face. Daddy said I could have this. Daddy's a pushover, Vera said. I prefer generous father figure, Harrison said, sitting down with Leo on his lap. Same thing, Vera said. They sat there, in their corner of Brewhaven, watching their kids make a mess of perfectly good pastries. And Vera thought about the woman she'd been 3 years ago, desperate, alone, terrified. She'd sent a message to the wrong person and found exactly the right life. Six years later, final scene. Harrison stood in the Grayson building, looking at the elevator that had broken down 6 years ago. It had been renovated, modernized. But it was the same elevator, the elevator that had trapped Vera long enough for her to send him that message. Why are we here? Vera asked, walking up beside him. Because I bought the building. She stared at him. You what? I bought the building, closed the deal this morning. Why? Because this is where it all started. And I wanted to own the place that gave me you. Vera laughed. That's insane. I know, but I couldn't help it. What are you going to do with it? Renovate it. Turn it into affordable housing. Make sure no one loses their apartment because rent went up $200. Because of what happened to me? Because of what happens to a lot of people, and I can do something about it. So I am. She kissed him, right there in the lobby. I love you. I love you too, even though you're terrible at saving phone numbers. Hey, that worked out pretty well. It did. Best wrong number ever. They walked out together, hand in hand, toward the car where Maisie and Leo were waiting, toward their life, their family, their future, all because of one message, one answer, one moment of kindness that changed everything.